What's up, YouTube? So I'm finally getting around to doing this video. I know many of you, especially from Instagram, have asked, just how expensive is it, or how much money have I spent on this within my ownership. So I've had it for over a year now, and I've put over 20,000 miles on it. So now's a really good time to be doing this video. As the title says, this will be over repairs only, and the maintenance and running costs, stuff like that, that will be for a separate video, just because maintenance is even across the board. We all have to do oil changes and brakes and tires, etc. Whereas repairs is going to vary from owner to owner. For example, I think I drive a lot more than the average M5 owner. So I could have a lot more repairs than somebody who only puts 3,000 miles on their M5 or whatever. So this folder here is full of receipts of all the money I've spent within my ownership. So let's go sit somewhere with a table and better lighting, and we can go through it real quick, and I'll show you just how much I've had to spend in repairs on this M5. Alright, so let me start by saying that this will be bad news for those of you that dislike the E60 M5. There's so much negativity behind this car from people who've never even owned it. I see on Instagram and Facebook people that try and trash talk the car and they've never even owned a BMW. This will be good news for those of you looking to purchase an E60 M5 or current owners, because this folder here, as thick as it looks, is actually full of receipts for aftermarket parts and maintenance, of course, taxes, emissions, and stuff like that. But as far as repair bills, there's only 2 in here from the previous owner that are actually pretty expensive. I'll share with you guys here in a minute. But on my end, there's none. So that's right, I've spent $0 in repairs throughout my entire ownership. Nothing. No problems, no issues whatsoever so far. Over 20,000 trouble-free miles. Knock on wood for sure. But you guys will be the first to know when I do have an issue. I want to share my experience with you guys. I want you guys to know what to look out for. But so far so good, and I'm not the only owner to have such a positive experience. I've met plenty by now, both on Facebook, Instagram, in person, at car shows, that can say the same thing. Just maintain the car, take care of it, drive it, don't let it sit in your garage for 2 months, and it'll take care of you. It can be a reliable car. I know a few obviously had some issues, but for the most part, every owner that I know that I've met have had no problems. Been a very good car for them. Like I said, I will be making a video soon about the maintenance though. That's a different story for sure. And also what to look out for. By now I know exactly the big common things that go out on this car. That'll be for a separate video. All these videos I'm doing, I want them to be very well organized. I want them all to be very related to the title so that they're all just quick and to the point. I don't want to make a 20-minute long video with too much information. My goal here is to share my experience in an organized manner so that it's easy for you guys to read and look up. Because I know when I first bought this car, there was nobody on YouTube doing these videos. Now there's a guy called Exotic Car Play Place. Y'all should check him out. He's got an E60 as well. And but I was scared when I first bought it. I'm still driving with my fingers crossed. So my goal here is to share my knowledge and experience with you guys, and from a reliable, true car enthusiast. So, like I said, be on the lookout for those videos. But let's go ahead and take a look at these receipts here from the previous owner. So, if you're familiar with the SMG transmission, its weak point is the hydraulic pump, or the hydraulic unit as it's stated on here. It went out at 90,000 miles just before I bought it, thankfully. And we've got, in parts here, we've got $5,400 in parts, $1,300 in labor, $450 in tax, for a grand total of $7,143. Let me tell you, that price is that's overpriced. Okay, this was done at BMW Vista in California, which we all know California is a very expensive state. Actually, a couple weeks ago, there was a meet at United BMW of Roswell, and I met an owner there who just had his replaced at a dealer for, I think he said, $4,800. So that was at a dealer. So that means you can get it done for probably a little bit less at an independent shop. And I also spoke to somebody on Facebook with a 08 M5, same as mine. We talked about our experience and stuff, chatted a while back and forth. He went a different route. He bought the part used, the pump, on eBay for I think $1,000 or $1,500. And then had it replaced for $1,000 or $1,500, vice versa on those prices, for a grand total of $2,500 out the door. So I don't know if I recommend that route just with the part being used. You don't know how much longer it's going to last or how it was, how it was used in the past. But if it comes with a warranty, that's a pretty solid option. That's a lot cheaper, obviously, than paying $5,000. But I think $5,000 is a much more realistic price on a pump replacement. Also, not on this receipt, but I know it's in here, but I can't find it. The previous owner replaced the clutch. So, altogether, before I bought it from him, he replaced clutch, pump, parts, labor, everything. Grand total of $11,000, which we already concluded he got screwed on the pump replacement. So we know he got screwed on the clutch replacement. It looks like he paid $4,000. Just before doing this video, I looked at how much a typical clutch replacement costs on this car. Looks like most people are paying about $2,500, sometimes less. So as far as my car, that's it. That's ever been done to this car. Everything in here, I specifically asked him before I bought it from him, what all of you've replaced. Everything is in here. Everything in here are, brakes, tires, and maintenance stuff like oil changes, coolant flush, brake flush, and stuff like that. So that's it. So realistically, this car had $11,000 in repairs in 10 years. But even more realistically, people like you and me who are going to be smarter and take our time and find a shop that's reasonably priced. This guy just had money. He didn't care. He just took it to the dealer, fix it, give it back when you're done. That's it. I don't have that kind of money to just blow out of nowhere. I'm going to be a lot more conservative with it. Let's say $5,000 for the pump, $2,500 for the clutch replacement, all total $7,500 within 10 years. That's under $1,000 a year. For a car that costs $100,000 brand new, has a V10 under the hood, an exotic power plant, I'd say that's not too bad. Obviously, if you're coming from a Honda Accord or a Camry or something, that's going to sound like a lot of money, but this is a different caliber here. That's just, you got to pay to play. That's just the way it is. So, if you've had a different experience though, please feel free to share it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Maybe we can start a discussion and those that are reading the comments can learn something. But like I said, my goal with these videos is to just share my knowledge and experience with this car, just to make it easier for those of you, you don't have, because when I Googled before I bought this car, everything that came up on posts, discussion posts and forums was dated from like 2010. So it wasn't recent at all. So I'll be making a lot of videos like this. So with that said, if you can please give me some suggestions on how I can make these videos better. This is only the second time that I've shown my face on my YouTube channel. Usually I'm behind the camera and I'm doing exhaust videos, which I love doing. That's my true passion. But this will be like a new start for the channel, a different direction. And so let me know how I can improve. I'd really appreciate it. And if you like it, give me a like for sure. I'd really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate your support. I hope you guys have a great 2018, and I'll see you on the next video.